Hi everyone, today I'm going to show you how I make a 16-inch paper clip necklace out of the chain and the charms and all the jump rings and all that stuff. So let's get to it. So we're going to make a 16-inch and we'll start with the paper clip chain. Let's see if we can get a better picture here. Now this one is typically done, I do it for a custom size, so it's not always an exact 16 or 14. It's whatever size the customer would like. And so we measure it out until they're happy and go from there. But when I'm making them as a pre-done to put on the shelf as a display, I'll start from here, measure out. A little bit difficult to hold on to. Here we go. So now, yep, difficult to hold on to. All right, thumb is here. There we go. All right, so this one comes onto right there in the middle of this link. So I'm going to take hold of this link, and they don't twist apart. So I'm going to cut the next one. These are, I think, garden wire cutters or something. I don't know. I've had them for years. But some jewelry cutters, wire cutters, something like that. Something good and strong, depending on what material you're working with. Just to make enough to make a dent, and then I can twist them apart that way. Well, wiggle them apart. And then I just have one broken link. And then I have my 16-inch chain. And then those chain spool that we're all done with. We can set that aside. All right, next step is I'll take one of these. These are 4mm jump rings, and only one for each end of the necklace and one for each charm. So I'll twist them open. And I have a lobster claw like this. You can use a different clasp if you like, but these are the ones that I use. And take one end of a necklace and hook it on. Lobster claw, hook that on. And then close it back up. Always twist. Don't pull. If you pull it, you'll just kill the jump ring. You'll have to get a new one because it just cannot handle doing that. So now we have the first part of the clasp, or first part of the necklace. So now we need to do the other side, the part that clips onto. It's only another one of the small 4mm jump rings. You can see this. It's really tiny. Twist it open. Find your other end, pop it on, and on with your, this is a 7mm jump ring, much bigger and easy to clip onto when you're trying to put your own necklace on. But that goes on there as well. And then we twist it closed. And now, just because I have experienced like some of these occasionally will just like snap open if you don't give them their initial opening. They just need a little attention before they go into use. Otherwise, they can come open. So I just open it, close it right back up. No need to do anything more with the big one. Just give it a little test. Okay. Now I'm using a bead palette. I think that's the brand name. I don't know what else to call it though. And then I put it as even as possible on each side. And I already have my charms laid out at the bottom how I want them to be, but that's not exactly the spacing that's going to have. But this does help me decide where the spacing is going to go for each charm, because I can move them along and see how they look and see if I like it or not, maybe one closer. or the client wants them closer. Either way, but it does have a center point here where it says necklace at 0 inch, and the closest one, or the one in the middle, link, that closest link is the one I'm going to count as the middle, so long as these are both fairly aligned. So that will be my even point. So kind of move that one a little bit differently so I know which one it is. And we'll put the first charm on. So you get another one of these 4 millimeters, they're really tiny jump rings. Twist it open carefully. Kind of hard to get a good grip on these ones. And I'm going to start with the middle one, and I want my bright silver hat, cowboy hat, to be the middle one. And I'll go back and find my center point here. Now with the paper clip ones, they're a little bit strange. You can't really lift them up too much because then the links get weird with each other and you end up with a funky, almost lopsided connection with your charm hanging in a weird spot, rather than in the middle of the chain. It kind of goes to the end and you've got 2 chains, and it just looks weird and it hangs weird, and I don't like that. So I have to be very careful not letting the sides move while I keep the middle chain, or the middle link, steady enough to close the link. But that is now a center one. Now if you only want one charm on one of these necklaces, that's totally fine. Totally fine. But right now we have one we can at least look at and see what we're thinking here. Is it backwards? It's backwards. Okay, here we go. Try that. How is it still backwards? Okay, can't always be backwards. Here we go. Just likes to hang backwards, I guess. Here we go. All right, now if you're coming into the shop to get one of these made for you, it takes less time than this usually, per necklace though. So if you're coming in with a friend or a group of friends, be aware that it does take me a few minutes to make each one, especially when I'm making them from scratch like this. And when we're doing more sizing, because I do an initial size where you want it, and then I'll make up the necklace, and then we do a second try on just to make sure it's still the same, still the right size, and I made it all in the perfect way that you want. So I like to put them at 4 spaces apart. I think that looks really nice, and it looks nice on a 14-inch and a 16-inch. So I go from, there's the link it's on, 1, 2, 3, 4, and click onto that link. I think I've got the right one here. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Kind of dropped it a little bit and hold it down so that it's not interfering with itself. There we go. And from the middle again, take my other charm, little horseshoe this time, and go 4 over on the next side, or the other side. So we'll start here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hook onto that one. Bring it down so it's not being pulled on either side. And close the link. And there we have it. I think looks good. And then depending on which side you want the clasp on, if you're left or right-handed, just let me know if you want to change it. But there we go. That is how I make paperclip necklaces, custom paperclip necklaces. So see you at the shop. Thanks for watching.